y'all, welcome back. My name's Sarah and this is my channel, The Sassy Bookworm. So today I'm going to be doing a book tag video. I haven't done a tag in a while, so I went ahead and looked up one that sounded pretty interesting. So I decided to do the Guilty Reader book tag because I thought that this was a pretty interesting tag and I thought it would be fun to do. Off the top of my head, I don't remember who done the original tag, but I definitely will leave a link down below to the original tag in case you all want to go check that out. So this tag is basically to expose yourself about some of your reading habits or just things that have to do with books in general that maybe not everyone wants to admit to. So without further ado, let's start with question number one. Question number one is, have you ever regifted a book that you've been given? So for this one, I'm going to say no, simply because I don't really have any friends that read or people that read that consistently. However, I have been given books that I have never read and probably will never read, but they still have their own place on my bookshelf, and I still like looking at them and thinking about who got them for me and still just appreciating the gift even if it's not something I would read. Question number two, have you ever said you've read a book when you haven't? So I really feel like this one's a no for me as well, just because I've never really wanted to hide that I've never read a book. I mean, if you guys have seen many of my other videos, I have fully claimed to never have read the Harry Potter series. Not saying that I never will, it's just, it hasn't happened yet. And I feel like if I can admit to that, I can admit to what I have or haven't read. Question number three, have you ever borrowed a book and not returned it? So this one's gonna have to be a no for me as well, just because when I started really getting into reading, I started purchasing my own books. So I have always been reading like my own books. I haven't had to return them. And if I really want to read a book, I'm just gonna go out and buy it. I'm not gonna try to borrow it from anyone. However, I have lent out at least 5 books that have just never made it back to my bookshelf. So I learned my lesson about letting people borrow mine anyway. Question number 4, have you ever read a series out of order? So I'm gonna say no for this one just because I don't think that I ever have. If I have, it's been totally on accident. I am very into marathoning my series from start to finish, not skipping books or jumping to the second book and not reading the first book. It's just, it's not what I do. It's just not what I do. Question number 5, have you ever spoiled a book for someone? So I feel like this one is a yes, but sometimes it's not intentional or it's not that big of a deal. I feel like I spoiled Allegiant for a few people, but at the same time, I don't think they were ever gonna read the books, so it really didn't hurt anything, but I was just so mad. I had to talk to someone and I told them what happened. I felt kind of bad at the time, but I still don't think they were ever gonna read the book, so you know, it's fine. As for spoiling anything else, maybe on accident, but it's never like an intentional thing for me to spoil a book for someone, because then I feel really bad, because then they don't get to experience what happens with a fresh mind. They know what's gonna happen, so then it's not as painful or it's not as surprising as it could be, because I know for a fact that I definitely try to stay away from spoilers, so I try to make sure that I don't spoil anyone. But I mean, if it happened on accident, it happened. I can't fix it. Question number 6. Have you ever doggy-eared a book? I will be the first to tell you that I think that doggy-earing a book is the worst thing that you can do. I am one of those people that want my pages to stay straight. I want my spine to stay unbroken. Doggy-earing pages, it's not a good thing. That is abuse of books, and I will not stand for it. However, I can't account for anything I did when I was little, before I was into reading and books so much. So if I did it back then, I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize to the universe and every book lover out there that at some point in my childhood, I more than likely dog-eared a page, and I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life. Question number 7. Have you ever told someone that you don't own a book when you actually do? I feel like I have done this, but it was to avoid it being borrowed because this person had actually already borrowed a book from me before and I still had yet to get that one back. So, I mean, the audacity of even asking to borrow another one was just out of the question. So I feel like it's a good possibility that I did lie and say that I didn't own it, that they should just go get it from the library. Go find it there. Question number 8. Have you ever told someone that you had haven't read a book when you really have. So like I said with the question that's basically the opposite to this, I don't feel like I need to justify what I have or have not read, so I don't think that it's something that I've ever lied about, and probably never will unless I just really want to impress someone. Question number 9. Have you ever skipped a chapter or section of a book? So if I'm rereading a book, if I know what's happening and I know that it's like a boring section of the book, there's a good possibility I will skip it. However, on a first read, I can only ever remember doing it once because I just really wasn't into the story. However, I was into the other chapters that held a different story. And I am talking about the book Afterworld by Scott Westerfield. From what I remember, it's basically about this writer, and so the chapters switch between her point of view and then what's going on in this fantasy world that she's writing about. And I literally skipped every chapter that had to do with her life and just read the fantasy parts. Like, I feel kind of bad for it, but I mean, I still enjoyed what I did read of the book. And the final question, question number 10. Have you ever badmouthed a book that you actually really liked? So twihards, don't come for me because I'm just as much a twihard as anyone else. I went to all of the midnight releases. I really was a twihard back in the day, but there was a time when it was cool to bash on Twilight. I may or may not have joined in, even though I absolutely love Twilight. I've read Twilight once, but the other books of the series I have read multiple times. So I really do love Twilight, and I do apologize for the bad mouthing of Twilight. But on a serious note, I really did enjoy Twilight. I don't know why I ever thought of bad mouthing it or claiming that I didn't like it. So that's all that I had for you guys today. I hope that you all enjoyed this video and maybe do the tag for yourself. Leave in the comments down below whether you've already done this tag or whether you just want to tell me the answers that you would have for these, or even if you plan on doing this tag. I would love to hear about it from you guys. Hit that like button if you want to see more tag videos from me, and definitely hit that subscribe button down there if you want to see more content from me. I try to post at least once a week, so I hope that you will come on this journey with me as I figure out who I'm going to be on YouTube. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, I will see you guys then. Bye!